Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So today I am going to do part 4 of my series from start to finish, and I've left it alone for a few days. So now that I'm looking at it, I think that I want to use oil pastels in this. I'm thinking this is going to be my last layer. I want to put some facial features on the faces and I want to just kind of tighten things up. Now I'm gonna draw some facial features here. I'm gonna use my Stabilo and I'm using a dry. So I'm just gonna go right in and do my eyes here. And one of the things I just want to point out is that, you know, however long it takes you to complete a painting, then that's what it takes you. And sometimes I have to leave things alone for quite some time and then I come back to it. And when I open up my art journals, some of them go back many years and, you know, they're in various stages of completion. So don't rush your art. At least, you know, that's the way I look at it. Sometimes things happen really fast and then sometimes they take a while. So however long it takes for something to happen, that's just how long it takes. And I really think I need to make the face longer here. Just a little bit. And you know, speaking of for things taking as long as they need to, there are plenty of artists in history who have worked on paintings for like years and years and decades even. And I didn't know this until I saw the originals, but Leonardo da Vinci, when he did the Mona Lisa, that is not a completed painting. I mean, I thought it was complete, but it's actually maybe, well, nobody knows for sure, but the speculation is that it's only about 50 to 60% completed. It's really quite interesting. So I'm just like elongating the face a little bit and just kind of bringing some of that into the hair so it's not so static and flat. And I'm just going to use my calligraphy pen. It's a Tombow, and I've tried to look for it present day, and unfortunately, I think they discontinued it. But there are tons of calligraphy pens that you can purchase. I just really like the Tombow one, but... And I'm just going to make the neck a little bit narrower. And I think I'm going to break out my oil pastels here. I really love this chalk paint. It's just so beautiful. And then if I wanted to, when it's completely dry, I can go in and add text over top of this chalk paint, and it just really shows up beautifully. So I'm going to use this set over here, which is, you know, I would categorize this as a mid to lower grade oil pastel, but I really want a hard mark. I don't want a soft mark right now. And I just love the color, the array of colors. It's just got like so many beautiful colors. So I think I'm going to pick a few like orangey red colors for now. And I think, okay, I think that's it for now. And I'm just gonna kind of experiment, and that might be too dark and it's not gonna show up. So I'm gonna use a lighter color and just go over top of this orange here. And just see what that does. I'm really loving these colors though. They're so beautiful. And I'm gonna repeat the oil pastels in a few different places. I'm probably gonna use different colors, but I'm really loving the blue here. So I'm just gonna add some of that to the hair and just make some marks, because I want it to be like a drawing painting. Like, I don't want it to be very painterly. I want it to be more kind of sketchy, if that makes sense. So I'm really loving how this Stabilo, it just bled into the neck and into the burnt sienna. So I really love that, and I'm gonna leave it like that. And now I'm gonna get some gold here. And I am going to just add a little bit of kind of decoration here. And maybe over there and over there. So I try to repeat everything at least 3 times, or at least an odd number. And that keeps the eye moving around. And now I'm going to try to get some features. It's still wet. Well, let me work on the eyes here. And now, when I did the video on oil pastels just a short while ago, I had a couple of, well, actually it was more than a couple, but I had some really valuable and important questions and input and all sorts of things. So I'm going to make another video on oil pastels. But just say, for instance, when I'm using oil pastels on this piece right here, or whether I'm using it in my art journal, I personally don't apply a fixative on top of it. There are lots of different fixatives and some that are made specifically for oil pastels, but for me, fixatives tend to flatten out the colors, number one, and number two, they don't fix the oil pastel 100%. And what I mean by that is, when you apply, and like, so I'm applying this oil pastel right here on the painting. Well, even when I put a fixative over top of it, it's still going to be movable. Like, it doesn't 100% stop it from moving, because I don't know how to explain it. It's not like acrylic where it dries. Oil pastel does not 100% dry. So there are lots of specific ways of how to take care of an oil pastel piece of art, how to frame it, how to, fix it, etc. But I don't do any of those things because I want like a very sketchy kind of a look, and I would rather trade the fixing it like 80% because it's not going to fix it 100%. I would rather have the vibrant colors rather than have the fixative flatten out the colors. I hope I'm making sense, but I am going to make another video on oil pastels and just talk about a lot of the different issues that came up. And for me personally, like, I'm not going to sell this piece of art. I'm not going to, you know, like, whether it's on a Bristol paper or in my art journal, like, if it smudges, then it smudges. Like, it's just something I'm doing for me. And if I was going to sell it, I would sell a print of it and not the original. I have sold my original art, but they generally don't have oil pastels on them. So I just wanted to point that out because I did get a lot of questions about the oil pastels, but I'm going to make a separate video about it. So anyways, so I'm just going to use my oil pastels over here, and I'm just going to kind of like really just kind of give it some zing. And I'm really loving this orange over here. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of lighten things up a bit over here, just for some variation. So I'm just going to kind of... like, I really love that kind of... I don't know, it's just like a very drawing. It's more drawing than painting, and I love that look. It's like a raw look. That's the word I was looking for. And see, it can get a bit messy because all of these pieces are from the oil pastel, but I personally, I'm okay with that. Like, some people, you know, are not. And oil pastels, they can get messy, but, you know, honestly, I just tap it out and I throw it in the garbage, and, you know, I just, like, it's not a big deal for me. And I think when you're using different materials, you've got to kind of weigh the pros and cons. So for me, the fact that it's a bit messy is not a big deal for me. So I'm gonna like finish drawing the eyes here. And so I did put Shiva oil pastels on the face, and then I let that dry for a few days. And we have to give her some eyebrows here. Now over here, things are still a little bit wet. Maybe I can draw over top of it here. So obviously I'm not going for a realistic look at all. Like, she's got blue lips, and, you know, that's totally fine. I'm okay with that. And I think I want to Gonna So I think that I am going to call this done. And if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. I hope you've gotten something from this series, which is starting a painting from scratch to finish. And we'll see you in my next video. Bye.